Hey guys, I am so excited to step you through Jamberry nail wrap application today. So you are probably watching this video because you have either purchased a sheet of Jamberry nail wrap, so this is a sheet, or you've been gifted one of our gorgeous accent nail packs. Either way, you're going to want to pay attention in this short little video just so you can have a look at the proper application techniques and get the best application out of your wraps. So I'm going to be applying one of these gorgeous wraps here. This is a glossy design, and I love glossy wraps for when you're first starting off. They're so easy to apply. So if you're thinking about starting a collection, take a look at all of our glossy wraps because they're honestly some of the best designs that we've got in the catalog. So I'm just going to move my camera down so you can see what's happening in front of me, and we will go from there. Bear with me for a moment. Okay, so now you can see my tabletop in front of me. So I have a couple of tools here ready to go. I've got my wraps and I've got my heat source. I'm using our Jamberry mini heater to apply my wraps. That's my heat source. So first off, when you are first prepping your nails to apply the wraps, you need to wash your hands with dishwashing soap. The reason being is the adhesive on the back of all of our wraps is non-toxic. So any natural oils that you have present on your nail beds, it's going to disrupt the adhesion process and you won't get as much life out of your wraps. So wash your hands with dishwashing soap to cut through those oils, and then you want to grab a cuticle pusher and just push your cuticles back. So I have done that already on these fingers. So you just want to gently push your cuticles back, and you might find that you have a little bit of invisible cuticle. If you do, you just need to pay a little bit more attention to that part of the nail. You just want to make sure all your cuticle is pushed back. The reason being is that our cuticles leach oil. So if we apply our wraps over the top of cuticle, we're going to find that that's going to lift around the nail bed. So once you've done that and you're happy with the shape of your nail, then you want to grab an alcohol swab or some white vinegar out of your cupboard and just cleanse the nail with the alcohol. So you don't need to do too much, just cleansing the nail there. So I'm just going to cleanse my nails, all of them, ready for my wraps. And then just wait for that to dry. And because you're using alcohol, it won't take long for that to dry at all. And then you want to size your wraps. Which wrap size are you going to put on which finger? Generally, the smaller wraps will fit on your little fingers. Lots of people actually skip. So for me, in particular, I actually skip the small one, but I use that for my little toes. I use this one on my little finger, and then I use the third largest goes on my pointer. So for me, my pointer fingernail is actually smaller than the other two. And lots of people find that, so you might find that as well. So I have already sized. I've cut this in half because each one of these wraps will do 2 fingers, and I'm going to use my orange stick to peel it off the plastic backing, just so that I don't touch the adhesive and get any oils at all on there. So now I'm just going to line up my wrap so it's as close to the cuticle as possible without touching. And as you can see, I'm popping this down cold. The reason why I do that is I'm not very good at getting it on straight. So if I've put it on cold, I can easily lift it and reposition it. And this is not straight, guys, so I need to do that as well. So I'm just going to reposition it and let it back down again. That's better. So once I'm happy with the position, I'm going to turn on my heat source. Wait for that to heat up a little bit, and I'm going to heat the wrap up. I'm just directing the heat straight down the middle of the wrap. You might be able to see, you see that the wrap's just wilted a little bit. You really don't need that much heat at all once your heat source is warmed up. So I've just warmed that up, and I'm going to smooth from the base to the tip straight up the middle. And I like to use my fingers to smooth this out. I especially like the fat part of my thumb. So I'm just smoothing from the base to the tip, straight up the middle of the wrap. And then I'm going to heat one side. And I'm going to use my thumb, and I'm going to smooth from the inside to the outside. And I'm going to heat the other side. And I'm going to smooth from the inside to the outside. And then I'm going to grab my purple cuticle pusher. You get one of these in your application kits. And I'm just going to warm up that white tip. The tip's rubber and it holds the heat a little bit. So I like to warm that up, and then I just smooth that around the edges of my wrap, just to make sure I've got a watertight seal between the wrap and my nail. If you don't have one of these yet, you need to contact me and I will get one out to you. These are great. And that is pretty much it. So my wrap is quite smooth. It's on there. You should be able to see that. So I let that cool down for a little bit, a few seconds, and then we will trim. So the reason why I let my wrap cool down is our wraps are made of vinyl, and vinyl likes to stretch and get malleable as it's heated up, which is why we can mold it around our nails. But as it cools down, it tends to shrink a little bit. So you want to just make sure you've let it cool for the glossy wraps, you really only need to let them cool for 20 to 30 seconds, even if that. So what I generally do when I'm applying a full set of nails is I will apply one wrap, heat and smooth, and then while it's cooling down, I'll apply the second wrap. And once I've applied the second wrap, the first wrap's ready to trim. But this is nice and cool now, so we're going to go ahead and trim it. So I'm just going to grab some nail scissors and I'm going to trim it to just above where my natural nail is. It doesn't need to be perfect because we're going to file it. So I've just trimmed off that excess there. I'm going to grab a Jamberry nail file, and at a right angle to the tip of my nail, I'm going to file straight down. And I'm putting a little bit of elbow grease in this. Can you see how that excess is just coming off now? And that's it, guys. There's one more step though that I love with my application, and that is getting a glass file onto it. So I carry a glass. This is my little bag that I keep in my handbag. I carry a glass file with me everywhere I go, and I like to finish off my application by filing the glass with the glass file back at a slight angle. The reason why I do this is because our emery boards are quite coarse, but the glass files have a super smooth finish on them. So if you are able to use a glass file on the tip of your nail and the tip of your wrap, you're going to provide a super smooth finish for application. And the reason why I file back at a slight angle is because I constantly have my hands in water and I'm constantly using my nails as tools when I'm cleaning up. So I want to make sure I'm protecting the tips of my wraps. So I file them so that there's a little bit of they just file them back a little bit. It's really hard to see with the iPhone camera, but that is on and it's super smooth. One way to test whether or not you filed enough is to get the tips of your wraps and then just run them down your t-shirt. And if it starts catching, you know that you need to use a little bit more of the file on that section. But that is pretty good. It's perfect. That is fantastic. So that is one wrap applied. How easy was that? So then you just go ahead and you do the rest. What do you think? If you have any questions or comments, drop them below this video and I will answer. There are links to my website and links to my customer group on Facebook if you would like to join. So you're very welcome to do that. Otherwise, have a great day and I'll talk to you later. Bye.